Hello, here we are for our last match. Leagues are so cool. Like I recorded the first one at the end of the day of streaming, and then yesterday in the afternoon when MTGO came back up, and now I'm having my morning coffee and finishing this one out. Leagues are just very good for, I think, anybody that wants to play casually or anybody that's producing content. I think they're just fantastic. Yeah, I would like to play first. Well, yeah, okay, I'm in. I mean, I'm hoping we have something better to do on 3 than make a 1-1, but even if we don't, that's all right. And we've got essentially, what, 19 mana sources in the deck, so this should be fine. And again, maybe I'll just, you know, hit it exactly the nuts. I'm going to play the Sage because it's more likely to be able to attack in. Like, if they have their own Aether Theorist or whatever, that's fine. We're missing a 1-3. It's not the end of the world. Okay, yeah, like, I'll attack this guy into a Cobra and just not care, or hold it back to block a Cobra. Like, just that doesn't matter. I think I want to get the Voyager going. Generally speaking, I don't want to try to be the beatdown against this deck. I could send here. I mean, hell, they have to take this trade, because if they don't, I can just hold back and make a token and block it with that. And this is, I guess, a trade I don't mind. It lowers my vulnerability to Subtle Strike, too, to just trade it off. Then we can go Voyager into Theorist and then just start cranking out the tokens. Padim is interesting here, but it's not really drawing me any cards. I should probably still play it, though. I suppose they could have a select for inspection here, but I'm not really going to worry about that, I don't think. Yeah, I'm going to play the most expensive thing, even though I don't have an artifact for it, because they've got this. That sucks, but that's not the end of the world. Where did they go with their scries? It's the scry one, right? Bottom. It's probably good news. All right, well, this is just what we're doing for the rest of the game. So I guess we will get in with our Voyager. And honestly, if this is what I'm doing, I think I want to do it now. If they top deck a removal spell and they do it in response to me making the creature, I'd rather have the creature in play. Like a tidy conclusion, they could, you know, wait till end of turn, fire it off on her, and I end up with a 2/2 instead. So if this is our game plan, which it is right now, then this is just what I'm doing for the rest of the game. There might be something to get me off of it. Like, how much are you? I just kind of feel like we can, you know, make a 4/4 and be fine. Do we have attacks here? Not unless I attack with both, and I kind of don't mind that. Could also play the Serpent and use that to close out a game. I kind of feel like just using this until we get there. I think I can attack with both, and I think if I'm going to do that, I want to go ahead and just make the token. Because, like, they can double block the 3/3 or single block the Voyager, but we're getting through damage here. Like, I can play a 5/6, but I can just, for no cards, put a 4/4 in play. So that's still 5 to do. I could play this and see if we hit a land, and if we don't, go for the serpent, which isn't terrible. And we've got clean attacks with, again, both of these. I'm guessing they're going to pop that and scry, but like they're going to have to start trading off some of their dudes for this. They could have Aether Meltdown or whatever here, so it's kind of time to decide if we're going to like stop going full grandma or what our plan is, and it may just be Gear Seeker Serpent time here. Okay, I see what you did there. I don't have enough to play you now, do I? No, they legitimately got me there. All right, that is the first time I have seen Ceremonious Rejection. But I'll take it. And I have now decided we're doing this. Did not expect to be ceremoniously rejected. I don't need to do anything else right now. Can attack with the 4/4 and the 2/3, I believe. We'll just keep chugging out the tokens until they deal with it. Interesting. I guess their last card is a Subtle Strike. No, Make Obsolete. Okay. That does do a thing. I don't know that it puts them firmly in control of this game, but that does do a thing. Okay, you got a 4/4? Yeah, I may just start Gear Seeker Serpenting and be done with this. I don't need that guy. Now, Whirler Virtuoso is interesting because we could make so many tokens. But like, at the same time, why not just play this and kill them with it? I don't think I need to attack with the 6/6 and just trade it off for a Death Toucher, like it's holding back all of their stuff. That's probably a good sign. So Grandma confirmed awesome. I thought we were just going to continue beating them down there, but once the Air Force was gone, they had a slim window to get back in, and that's where I feel like it's time to go serpenting. So they've got some Death Touch dudes. They've got a P-Foul, so you might think, hey, we won't take down for the Flyers, but this can never actually hit a P-Foul, which is kind of interesting. Like, I suppose it can if we attack him with our Voyager, they jump it to block, and then after combat we do it, but that's so fringe. We were ceremoniously rejected, which is kind of funny. I had not seen that main decked yet. Doesn't mean it's not main deckable, just that I hadn't seen it. Puzzle Knots I've not been impressed with. What does this do again? Number of cards revealed this way. Okay, so it kills me. That's good to know. I mean, the only thing here, I guess, is do we want a Fireweaver? Are we interested in an Oatmeal Courage? Do we think we need to splash for a gremlin? And I do not believe that any of these are necessary. They didn't look particularly weak to a ballista charger. So we'll jam it back. This looks reasonable. We'd probably fire that off for the mountain and have most of our colors going. Or not. So I think I still want to fire it off, and I think I'm going to get the blue in that we have the serpent. I'll check and see how many doubles we have, but we're now a little less likely to draw a second island than anything else. So we've got Pima Outrider here versus Gear Seeker Serpent there, and there's so many more forests. I think we get the blue. Because I'm thinking our curve looks like Construct, Rhino, Voyager. Although the Voyager may go first, I'm figuring if we can get the Rhino in for attacks, that might be good for us. And there's the Serpent, almost like we had a reason to get double blue. Yes. Trinketeer? I don't not want that. I don't think it's what I'm doing next turn, but it could be. Pump out a few artifacts, cast Gear Seeker Serpent. If they're just going to scoop to Gear Seeker Serpent, then all we have to do is resolve it, right? I still kind of like the Thriving Rhino here. So we can start investing some energy there. It's not attacking for that much. Like, the advantage of the Trinketeer is it can help me get the Gear Seeker Serpent out faster while still attacking. But I think I'm going to go with the Rhino here. It can eventually grind through the Skygate. And then we'll probably follow it up with the Voyager. Yeah, they're just kind of not doing anything, which is interesting. I do like having trade winds up here. I think that means it's relatively safe for me to attack. I don't really want to bounce land, but if they've got a kill spell, we can bounce one of our guys and one of their lands or something if that's what we want to do. It's not a lot of damage, but if you can get in for 2, I think you should get in for 2. It's possible they're playing another counter spell. Just kind of fine if they are. I think the Trinketeer is better long term than the Voyager. And if they're on stone nothing, that's just fine. Ah, Sebastian Mastodon, eh? That does disappoint a little bit, right? So options include, but are not limited to, doing something with Aether Trade Winds to force some damage. That doesn't seem great. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for our construct. So I think we'd really like to be able to get the Trinketeer in play. I can still attack here if I put some energy on it and then have a 4/5 of my own, which doesn't seem too bad, and then play the Trinketeer. I think I'm down with that. There's a chance they don't block it too. So I mean, we may end up taking 4, but we'll have a creature in play that can handle their stuff. A bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. Let's land off the top. We're serpenting. Without a land off the top, I guess we make a servo and then serpent anyway. We can consider bouncing the Mastodon. Well, that was rather tidy, wasn't it? All right. Righto. Bob's your uncle. How do you feel about this serpent? Oh, you have one too. Okay. Well, we got the first one, which should work out for us, especially if we're going to get to hunt the weak theirs. That is pretty exciting. That is very exciting. Yeah, they can't even mana leak it. There's just no reason not to do this that I can possibly think of. Revolutionary Rebuff is the 2 mana leak, I think. Subtle Strike. Okay, that's what I wasn't thinking of, and what's going to blow me out. Okay, good. I'm glad that we got a bit wrecked there, because that hurts. We've got a solution with the Aether Trade Winds, but that does not feel good. All right, opponent. You are indeed doing things. I guess what they're doing is just getting stuff bigger than me now. Because that's going to kill me and I don't have any more ways to interact with it, and I feel really stupid getting blown out by a Subtle Strike. Like if I just activate and start attacking, we're in business. I didn't do that. We've got ways through a board stall, but not really ways through this. One of the ways that we beat it is by having Aether Trade Winds up when they go for the thing. Another way we could conceivably beat it is by trying to get this Rhino grown up a bit. But I think we just pass here and then see if we can maybe get in a hit next turn. I'm kind of scared. Gearseeker Serpents are terrifying, and we played right into that Subtle Strike. Sorry if you guys were screaming at your TV. They're giving me just tons of time. Which is good. Do I want to bounce it any? I don't think so, because then we're just trading this for their elephant. Like, we need some of our Wombu combos to be able to get this going. And we do have them in the deck. So I think as long as they're going to not kill me, we can just be patient. They're out of cards, so they kind of almost have to start doing something with the Serpent to close this out. But I don't even know that benefits me long term. So we're going to play this. This guy's already dead. So I think I like having the 4/4. We've got another Hunt the Weak, and that might do something. But I think what happens now is they attack with this, and we look at maybe making some attacks of our own after bouncing a blocker. Not entirely sure. I just know this is not going to go too well for us. Okay, well, I have no issue casting the Prism. Padim really doesn't do much in that scenario. So at this point, I can attack with this if they go for a double block, bounce one of their guys. The problem is we're still taking all this damage here. In I attack with this and put the counter on it and attack with this guy, they probably just snap block here. I could bounce that. They take 4, 5, which is 9. I think I'm supposed to go here and probably just trade it for the Mastodon. Like, I don't particularly like this, but if the Mastodon's off the table, most of my other creatures can begin to attack. And I can't not bounce this next turn. It's like, if I bounce this guy, they're still just going to kill me with the 6 power dude. Like, that's what, 3 hits? Assuming they don't draw anything else. That Subtle Strike was brutal. I guess the argument is, if I do bounce this, they can't replay it and hit me with that guy. So we've really got to decide what we want to do here. I get to draw another card with the Prism. But I don't really know how I'm forcing damage past that. I think this is my likeliest shot to be able to win, so I'm going to go for it. I still don't particularly think it's great. One of my removal spells is Hunt the Weak, which can't really deal with this. Okay, if they're playing the P-Foul, that is great news, because it means Home Slice is not unblockable. Alright, so I attack here, I feed the energy in, I have a 6/7. So I'm just trading it with something there. We're not drawing extra cards off of Padim because they still have the P-Foul. But as long as they're not attacking me, I think we're alright. It makes them respect that I can crack back, I suppose. I'm gonna hold this so they're scared of something. I still feel like any turn where they decide to crack with the Serpent, we're kind of not thrilled about it. All right. Everything is good. Nice and slow, but that's okay. Good God, another one? I think I could handle one. I don't know that I can handle two. I kind of feel like that Subtle Strike just wrecked my day. Because it did. Alright, let's be more intelligent when we go to the next game. This one is not quite lost, but it's not too far from over either. They just have to start attacking. And they're going to realize shortly that I'm on air and start attacking with the other, making other attacks as well. Yeah, if I didn't lose my own Serpent, I think we could have won this game. I've just got to play better with Gearseeker Serpent. So I'm almost at a position where I have to do something like swing out to try and win, and it doesn't do much. Let's see what we have to draw, because we're likely going to 3 next turn and have 2 Serpents to deal with, and I'm not entirely sure that I can. Yeah, all of this stuff is a little bit too slow to actually do anything. I may want to get a combat trick in here, something like that Ornamental Courage. would be a good start. Because again, there's really nothing I can draw here that'll get us out of this in time. All right, here we'll make them take some blocks because at least that'll be interesting. It is kind of the obvious I'm dead, but I'm dead next turn anyway. They just have to activate their card. All right, you figured it out. You got me. All right, so we've seen a lot of their deck, and it's going to revolve around Gearseeker Serpents and not getting blown out and just walking into shenanigans. So let's make sure we don't do that. The Fireweaver gives us a way to kill them between that. The Disappearing Act gives us a way to counter their Serpents if we can get ahead. And Oatmeal Courage gives us some interactivity. Not a lot. I think I could maybe see playing Disappearing Act if we're both looking at big stuff. It's probably worth including here. And it may be worth going down a land. It may not when I'm on the play. Just want a little bit more interactivity. Maybe I don't need this Wild Wanderer. It's a little bit of fixing, but I've already got enough fixing, and it's not like I'm trying to ramp much from it. So it's usually being a 3/2. Like by the time I can cast it, I can cast everything else. Let's give this a go. I think I'm going to be interested in having a counter spell here. I could be wrong, but I think I'm going to be. Well, there's plenty of green in the deck. So I think with the construct, this is fine. Like once we hit a green, we've got all of our colors. And assuming we do hit a green, we've got one hell of a curve. What, you were worried that I didn't have it? We never didn't have it. Sage is not a bad backup to the Rhino. If I'm not worried about white mana, I can forest, attune with Aether, bring Zabits. But we're certainly playing the Rhino here. I want to get in as much early damage as I possibly can before they're able to do anything about it. And I also want to make sure that we're set up to hunt the weak next turn. Not next turn, the turn following. Okay, Trinketeer does make me a little more interested in getting white mana. But it means I'm not doing anything else this turn, and I would like to have the 2/1 in play. I'd also like to attack with both of these creatures and see if we can get in just some good solid damage. Because I think my turns are Attune for Forest Sage, and then Hunt the Weak or Peafowl. And I'm stuck with this in my hand, but that's part of being greedy. I suppose I could just play the Sage, but that really locks up my hand for next turn. Yeah, I want to get in here. I mean, I suppose the other option is Attune for the Plains and then play the Trinketeer this turn. That actually seems a little better. It means I'm not blocking, but that's fine. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that. if they're going to tap out, we've got some real options. I am a bit scared of a freighter. Let's not pretend I'm not. Here's the other green we wanted anyway, so no fear, no worries at all. So let's say that we hunt the weak here and then attack and spend the energy to make this a 4-5. Are they going to trade this? Well, I want to get some artifacts off the table because I want to make sure we can handle a serpent. They're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they got a serpent, they're playing it next turn. Which means if I really want to get an artifact off the table, that's a good one to get. They'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They could still play one with the land. At 13, we've still got the initiative. So I don't hate Hunt the Weaking here. It doesn't leave me with any attacks. Like nabbing that and then attacking with a 4-5 seems pretty good. We can get into a classic board stall, or we can play the P-foul to try to go over, and that will do something. What happens if I just attack with this as a 4-5? And then after combat decide if we want to hunt the weak something or just play out the P-foul? I suppose that's not terrible. They might trade it for the freighter. They might trade it for that. They might take 4 because they're looking to attack me back with this. Yeah, I think maybe attacking first and seeing where we go is not a bad place to be. I'm also going a little low on time, so I need to just make some plays here. All right, I don't hate getting the train off the board. We did stop that double block. Actually, is there any argument to getting the pill bug instead? No, I don't think so. So I think I like P-foul and keep my options open for next turn. I guess their plan was to get the biggest thing off the table so the serpent is stopped. Yeah, I'm just scared to death of a serpent, but I don't know that there's much I can do about it. If they've got one, they can play it next turn. This at least gives me blocks on the pillar bug. Okay, bat we can handle. Bat's not a problem. I mean, it's a little bit of a problem, but it's not a lot of bit of a problem. Because now I could hunt the wicked and just start hitting them for 3. I don't see much of a reason not to do that. There's not a subtle strike up. I'm not willing to trade this guy for that. So I think here we just play the Sage, and then next turn start farting out servos and attacking for 3 in the air. Yeah, it's not a problem either. Yeah, everything's fine here. There's the Serpent. I think we're currently racing it ish. But not quite. Like, I've got to hit with that 3 more times. They've got to hit with the Serpent 4 times. So currently we're on board, but a flyer kind of stops that from being a thing. Okay. We could block it with everything, or we can just happily jump it. I think we'll just happily jump in front of it, bud. Okay, Skygate does start to pose a problem. So we're going to need another way to win, or a way to get through a Skygate. That is another way to win. Do I have attacks with these guys? No, they're too small. We're going to make that, so I may as well just do it in F6 so I don't have to deal with time constraints. So they're sitting on a subtle strike, and I don't need to take that. Are they dead if I swing out? Because they're going to go to 7, 8, 9. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. That's not enough, so we just need to get in here with the Serpent. And try to kill them with it before they can find a way to deal with it. A bounce spell buys them a good bit of time, but I also want to make sure they're dead before we have a super problem. Like, Tidy Conclusion is kind of what I'm worried about here. So as long as they don't play a swamp here, we're going to make for the exact same play next turn. Okay, cool. I guess they did not have the swamp. That felt really stupid walking into that subtle strike, because I think we're probably winning that game if I didn't. But this has been a fun deck. I like energy, and I like greedy mana bases. I'm a little less excited about this deck early in the morning when I'm having my first cup of coffee than I was late in the day after I finished a stream, but I'm not going to be unhappy with 3 wins. So thanks for tuning in here on SeemsGoodMagic.com. I'll be looking for you on the stream. It's twitch.tv/Simulan. Also, check out the podcast, Men from Moto. Episode number 14 is being recorded next week. We're going to do a primer for the Return to Ravnica flashback draft, so if that's something you're excited about, you can check it out there. I'll be probably doing some of those on stream as well, because that's a format I really enjoyed. I hope y'all have a good one. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week.